So you've landed a job interview. Let's talk about how you can prepare for the interview and what you can expect during it. What is an interview? An interview is essentially a structured conversation where one participant asks questions and the other provides answers. It's an opportunity for the employer to get to know you and see if you would be a good fit for their team. Employers use interviews as an opportunity to determine your qualifications, to determine how serious you are about the position, and to get to know you and understand your work ethic. Let's talk about the 4 different kinds of interviews. First up being a phone interview. Employers may use phone interviews as a screening tool before deciding to meet with you in person. This could be to find out more information regarding your qualifications and see if they would like to continue with you in the interview process. Next is an individual interview. This is one of the most common ways to interview for entry-level roles. It involves you meeting with just one interviewer to talk about the job, your qualifications, and work experience. Third is a team interview. This is where you would be doing an interview by yourself, however, more than one person is interviewing you. And lastly is a group interview. This is where you and others will be interviewing for a job at the same time, usually with more than one interviewer. This can be a bit more competitive, so make sure to speak up when they ask questions and get the chance to demonstrate why they should hire you. Preparing for the interview. First, you can always speak with your employment specialist, especially if they set up the interview for you. You can ask them about the position you're applying for, the job responsibilities, hours, salary, etc. You can also ask them to help you prepare for any questions they may ask you during the interview. Do your research on the company. Know where the company is, how you will get there, what products or services they offer, and maybe any cool events or initiatives that they've been a part of. You can find the majority of this information on the company's website. Bring the following to the interview: all of your identification documents, multiple copies of your up-to-date resume in case more than one person would like to see it, a pen and paper to take notes during the interview, and prepared questions for the interviewers. And last but not least, the first impression is very important, so make sure you dress for the job that you want. Dress professionally. All of the pictures you see here are great examples of dressing professionally for an interview. For me, whenever I get nervous about how I should dress for an interview, I usually just look up professional interview attire or casual business attire on Google and go off of that. A few things you should avoid are sneakers or flip-flops, shirts with no or thin sleeves or straps, don't wear shorts or jeans, and don't wear any clothing that may be too tight, baggy, or have words or wild designs or pictures on it. Clothing should be neat, clean, and pressed. As the famous sayings go, dress to impress and dress for the job that you want. Some quick tips on body language. In the United States, eye contact is culturally very important and respected. It shows that you are interested in what the interviewer is saying, establishes confidence, and demonstrates respect. If you are from a culture where eye contact is not acceptable or discouraged, or if you don't feel comfortable making direct eye contact, you can look anywhere within the triangle in the image to the left. This gives the impression that you are making eye contact without actually having to make direct eye contact. Make sure you sit up straight and don't fidget nor play with your hair or clothing. If you have an interpreter with you, they should be sitting behind you and over your shoulder, as the conversation should be between you and the interviewer, not between you, the interviewer, and the interpreter. Smile, stay relaxed, and remember to shake hands before and after the interview. Let's talk about some common interview mistakes. Bad personal appearance. Lack of interest in a job. So showing up to an interview and basically being unable to answer any of their questions or show why you actually want the job. Too much emphasis or interest in the salary. Don't continue to ask about how much money you'll be making. Disrespect. Lack of eye contact. Arriving late, that's a big one. And unorganized papers and/or documents. Also, the inability to express information clearly. They're going to ask you about your work experience and what's on your resume. Make sure you can explain in further detail what you've been doing. During the interview. So the interview is also your opportunity to get to know the employer and the company. Make sure to turn your cell phone off, or at the very least put it on silent. Any interruptions seem disrespectful. They're going to ask you questions about yourself, and you're going to have the opportunity to ask questions about the company and the position. And be sure to always arrive at least 10 to 15 minutes early. Arriving early shows that you're responsible and committed. Let's talk about some common interview questions. First up being, tell me about yourself. You can use this question as an opportunity to summarize your experience, explain why you want the job, and why you would be a great fit for it. When they ask when are you available, they want to know if you would be available for the shifts and schedules the job would work, and they also want to know when you would be able to start. Be honest. You don't want to start a job and then have to quit or be fired 2 weeks later because the schedule didn't work for you. This looks bad, and you may have potentially burned a bridge with that employer. What is your greatest strength? This is an opportunity to talk about a characteristic or skill that you are great at. My go-to answer is problem solving. If a problem comes up, I'm quick to find the best solution for it. What is your greatest weakness? Use this to talk about something you may be struggling with, but then show how you're working on improving it. For me, my example could be organization. My desk can be a mess, but I'm working on improving it by putting things away immediately instead of putting it off for later, and not allowing myself to let things pile up. Some quick interview advice. Upon initial meeting, be sure to shake hands. Speak clearly and respond to every question. Don't be afraid to ask for a minute to think of your response or come back to that question later. Maintain good eye contact and a good posture. Always have prepared questions to ask at the end, and thank the interviewer for their time and consideration. Ask good questions. Conduct your own investigation on the company and ask questions to learn about or clarify things about the company or position that you may have read on their website. I like to always have at least 2 to 3 questions prepared to ask during or at the end of the interview. By asking the interviewer questions, you're able to walk away with a better idea of what you'd be doing on the job and if it's a good fit for you, while you're also showing that you're engaged in the process and you care about the position. After the interview. Wait 1 to 2 days after the interview to send a thank you note to the interviewer. The message should be formal and professional, and it should include your contact information. You can expect to hear back from the interviewer sometimes between 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes it may be months, depending on how competitive the position is. But feel free to follow up with a thank you note, and you can ask for clarification on what the next steps in the process look like. You've now completed the video job interviews. Please complete the assessment linked in the comments below before continuing on to the next video.